Rakdos Reanimator took 9th place in the North America Eternal Weekend Championships in the hands of Adam Kulp, and today we're going to play it. Let's go check it out. Congratulations to Adam Kulp for coming in 9th place at the North America Eternal Weekend Championships, and while we're playing that list today, I hope you enjoy it. So one thing that I noticed when I was building it was that I kept on coming to 64 cards, and I was like, what am I playing that Adam isn't? I went through each card individually, and I could not figure out, and then it dawned on me, I'll just work on the sideboard, and that's when I saw the sideboard Thoughtseize. I had 4 Thoughtseize in the main deck, and Adam placed them in the sideboard. 4 Thoughtseize main deck has been pretty stock in Rakdos Reanimator for a long time, and Adam Kulp broke the trend. Instead, they played 4 copies of Cabal Therapy. My last list only had 2. So 4 Cabal Therapy in the main deck to pair with your 4 copies of Unmask, and then the Thoughtseizes are in the sideboard. If I had to take a wild guess, it's because of the life loss. So Thoughtseize costs you 2 life in order to use it, and you're a deck that uses Reanimate. So that life loss does matter when you're looking to draw 7 cards with Griselbrand. Okay, so that's probably why. I get it. But when you look at the deck, it's pretty stock. So my last list that I played had 14 lands. And I said in that video, when I actually went back and watched the wrap-up, that I felt like the deck needed another land or 2. Adam did that. So props to them. I mean, I doubt they even watched the video, but they were on the same page. And I enjoy that. The other thing is that they're playing 4 copies of Shallow Grave with no copies of Exhume. So you're running 4 Shallow Grave, 4 Animate Dead, and 4 Reanimate. One nice thing about Shallow Grave is that if you play a Reanimate on Griselbrand and then your opponent uses a Nile Spellbomb or a Tormod's Crypt, you can then Shallow Grave in response and then return that Griselbrand to the battlefield. That's actually pretty good. So the instant speed nature of Shallow Grave is actually very, very useful and a good reason to use it over something like Exhume. So that is, an inclusion I do like. Why Rakdos? Primarily for Faithless Looting. One thing that I found when I've played some of the mono black Reanimator lists is it's actually very tough to get creatures to your graveyard because you rely so much on Entomb. Playing the Faithless Looting, I think it makes perfect sense to me because you can use this in order to get the Griselbrand to the graveyard, but it's also a consistency piece. So when you don't mulligan perfectly each game, because that's going to happen over a 15-round tournament, you can lean on Faithless Looting to, change the context of your hand, and I like that quite a bit. But red also gives you sideboard cards like Meltdown. A card we're not playing today, which I'm a little shocked by, is Shenanigans, because you can Entomb for Shenanigans and then dredge it in order to blow up a Grafdigger's Cage or something like that. So instead of using Shenanigans to beat Grafdigger's Cage, we're going to use Show and Tell out of the sideboard. That's what the blue splash off Underground Sea and Undercity Sewers is for, to use those sideboard copies to Show and Tell to get around graveyard hate. Additionally, we could go beat down with Dauthi Voidwalkers, but these are mostly for the Dimir Reanimator matchups because that deck struggles to beat Dauthi Voidwalker. We have Null Rod for the Mystic Forge deck, which I'm guessing the Meltdowns also come in against, and then Thoughtseize for both blue and other combo. That's the deck tech. I hope you enjoyed it. Congratulations once again to Adam Kulp, and hopefully we do well today. So stick around and find out if that's true, and I'll see you in the first match. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicsforum.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicsforum.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to match number 1. We're on the play versus someone who's played a lot of Dimir Reanimator. I don't know what they're playing today. Alright, so we have 2 ways of getting a large creature to the graveyard, via Entomb or Cabal Therapy on ourselves. What we don't have is a Reanimate effect, so I believe we have to mulligan. This is good. This is a turn 1. We probably keep this. Bottom the Archon of Cruelty. If they kept Force of Will today, I do not know. Or if they're even playing Force of Will. We'll play Lotus Petal. Lotus Petal. We'll fetch. This could go very poorly for us, but we're going to do what we can here. We'll grab Underground Sea. Let's try to make them think we're Dimir. Entomb. And now we'll grab Griselbrand. Shallow Grave. Come on, no Force of Will. No Force of Will. No! Force of Will pitching Brainstorm. Unfortunate. They play a Mishra's Bauble, so probably not Reanimator. They use that Mishra's Bauble. I suppose I could have gotten a basic Swamp to avoid Wasteland. That might have been better than trying to juke them with the Underground Sea. They use the Mishra's Bauble again. They play basic Island. And now they'll draw 2. Cabal Therapy a little late. We'll pass. Misty Rainforest. They fetch. Volcanic Island. So they're on the Izzet Quarry Steelcutter tempo strategy. 4 cards remain in their hand. We'll fetch. Go grab the Raucous Theater. Get rid of the Undercity Sewers. Bristlebrand was not an ideal draw. Another copy of Dragon's Rage Channeler. They have instant artifact land. And they're still just not playing anything here. Archon of Cruelty. We really need a Faithless Looting. In their upkeep, they're going to Lightning Bolt me. Okay. Surveils away Volcanic Island and another Lightning Bolt. I go to 14. They still do not have Delirium. Wasteland. That hurts. Okay. So I'll go to 12. They get rid of the Raucous Theater. Unmask. We will just pass the turn. We're running out of time for my life total. They're just going to combat. Okay. So I will go to 10 here. A third Dragon's Rage Channeler. Ball Therapy. Let's unmask, target them. Let's try to get some information on what they're actually playing before I die. They're going to Daze. Only seeing one Reanimate effect in my top 25% of my deck is a little unlucky considering we're playing 12 of them. And I'll pay for the Daze. Unmask. Force of Will and another Dragon's Rage Channeler. Okay, so we cannot win. We'll go to the next one. We likely want Show and Tell. And I think Thoughtseize. Maybe you get rid of the Faithless Lootings versus the blue decks. And then you rely on Show and Tell. Maybe board out some Dark Rituals. Because you're trying to be less explosive and then I can bring back in like another looting. Maybe we'll shave a Lotus Petal, and I think I like this. Because I'm still on the Reanimator package, but you're just less explosive. This makes sense to me. Game number 2 on the play. Ooh. I think I keep this, but a little nervous. I'd have to hit a land off of the Faithless Looting. Okay. We'll begin with an Unmask. Exile Archon of Cruelty. Double Force of Will. Ah. Jeez. What a hand. We'll take one of them. Play the Bloodstained Mire. No Wasteland, so I feel safe grabbing the Badlands. And now we'll play the Faithless Looting. Discard Archon of Cruelty and Gristlebrand. So a black card off the top would allow me to beat Force of Will, but I can't beat the Daze. So I need 2 cards. They play Scalding Tarn into Dragon's Rage Channeler. So we have the mana we need to beat Daze, but I don't have the black card for Unmask. They play the Brainstorm. Alright, Polluted Delta. I was really hoping for no Wasteland there, so that was a good thing to see. And then in their second main phase, are you going to play the other Channeler? And they do. Okay, black card, please. Nope. Okay, so we have to pass the turn. The one silver lining here is that I should be able to Surveil, and then hopefully find a black card that way. Another Brainstorm. They play a Mishra's Bauble. They get rid of Polluted Delta. And then they kept a card on top. Now they use the Mishra's Bauble. They have Delirium. They found a Wasteland. That is not particularly good for me. I go to 12. And now they destroy my Badlands. 3 cards in their hand. We'll fetch. I go to 11. We'll grab Raucous Theater. We'll keep that. We will unmask them. They have 4 cards in their hand. Oh, come on. The Wasteland mattered. So we'll take Force of Will, and then we have to draw into another mana. And I only have 1 draw step to do it. Does that do it? Play Lotus Petal. I don't think it does. I think I'm still short. It only beats 1 Daze. Lotus Petal. Cabal Therapy. Yeah, this just doesn't beat Double Daze. We were just short. We had a couple opportunities to hit, and we just never did it. Unfortunate. So we lose match number 1. We were pretty close a few times, and it just didn't work out. So that happens in Magic. You know, it stinks, but let's just keep our head up and try to win match number 2. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. For round 2, we're on the draw. We've opened up a hand that does not have a Reanimate effect in it, and our opponent is playing a Yorion strategy. We're going to mulligan this. Okay, so we don't have a discard outlet, but we have triple Reanimate effect. I think you're supposed to go to 5. Lotus Petal, Looting, Gristlebrand. Yeah, we keep this. Bottom, the Cabal Therapy, and the Shallow Grave. Oh, they're the Cascade deck. Okay. We might just be dead. We'll play Bloodstained Mire. I wish that I didn't get rid of that Shallow Grave. I mean, it was the correct decision. Alright, discard Archon of Cruelty and Gristlebrand. And then we'll play Lotus Petal, Dark Ritual, Reanimate on Gristlebrand. I go to 11, I'll draw 7. 4 mana float. I'm sorry, 4 life, 2 mana floating. Dark Ritual, Lotus Petal. We'll Shallow Grave to return the Archon of Cruelty. This brings me up to 7, but that's not quite enough life to draw more cards. And our opponent has conceded the game. No way! I was going to entomb for another Archon of Cruelty and then Animate Dead. Okay, fine. Keep your secrets, Yorion Cascade player. Okay, so I have seen some of these decks with Leyline of the Void in it, so I'm going to bring in Show and Tell just in case. So it's a matchup where you want to be fast, but you also want the Show and Tell juke. I wonder if you're supposed to just get rid of Animate Dead. It's the worst one. Or like you can maybe keep Animate Deads and board out 2 lands versus like a speed matchup. Maybe like 1 Sewers and 1 Swamp. Because like the previous list did play 14 lands. Let's try this. Well, that hurts my feelings. We're a land away from greatness. Do you keep this like a crazy person? And just pray to spike a land? I think I'm going to. You could judge me in the comments, it's fine. Because this is a protected turn 1 creature. So like even if you miss on like 1 or 2 draws, like you would still have a protected thing. They mulligan to 5, but the Cascade deck does mulligan a lot. The question is, are they mulliganing for Leyline of the Void? Okay. I've never seen a Yorion build of this deck, but it makes sense to me. It really does. We missed on the mana. I think I'll just play the Unmask now. Exile Gristlebrand. No, we'll exile Archon of Cruelty. Ooh, they have the turn 2. No, they don't. Okay, they don't have the turn 2. We'll take the Throes of Chaos. Wait, why did I do that? I meant to take the Violent Outburst. That was so dumb. That was so dumb. I was like, oh, they can't cast Violent Outburst. They can only cast Throes of Chaos. And then I did the opposite of what I meant to do. Whoops. But I guess we get to see if they have Leyline of the Void. Okay. They do have Leyline of the Voids. They hit Tybalt's Trickery. And then another Violent Outburst. So what we're hoping for here is that they fizzle, and they did not. Okay, we're probably dead. Bummer. Alright, we'll go to the next one. So they do have Leyline of the Void. So if you're like Bryant, you deserve that because you boarded out 2 lands. Those lands would have been Animate Dead. So I don't feel particularly bad about that. Alright, we'll try... After seeing the Leylines, I think I want the extra lands for Show and Tell. We'll try this for game 3. No Animate Deads on the play. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, we have turn 2 Show and Tell. I don't know if that's good enough, but we'll try. They mulligan to 5. Now down to 4. Down to 3. Down to 2. They're just digging for Leyline. Well, this is the downside of running an 80-card deck when you could have ran a 60-card deck. Okay. They have their 2 cards. We'll play Raucous Theater. Keep the Cabal Therapy. We'll pass. Alright, so... Oh, I'm an idiot. I just played my land without thinking. Cabal Therapy, we'll say Violent Outburst. Violent Outburst. Creative Technique. That was really dumb. I was like, oh, well, this way I can Dark Ritual, Cabal Therapy, use Marsh Flats for my blue, and then I just didn't do that. There's something wrong with me. I don't know what I'm doing. Alright, so We'll fetch for a blue. Underground Sea. Dark Ritual. Show and Tell. Put in the Archon of Cruelty. Maelstrom Wanderer. They have to sacrifice it to my Archon of Cruelty trigger. We drew Gristlebrand. So what I can do here is Cabal Therapy. Well, they have no hand. That probably doesn't make sense. I could Cabal Therapy myself and then Shallowgrave the Gristlebrand. Is that good? I feel like it probably is. Cabal Therapy myself, sacrifice the Archon of Cruelty. We'll say Gristlebrand. And now we'll Shallowgrave on the Gristlebrand. Draw 7. Draw 7 again. Did we hit a Lotus Petal? We did. Cancel. Play the Lotus Petal. Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual. Shallowgrave. And the opponent concedes. Yes, we got a match win. It only took our opponent mulliganing to 2 because they chose to register an 80-card deck. We got there. Pretty awesome. We're now 1-1. Let's go win match number 3. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $15.99. This token combo pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens featuring classic Storm and Mana tokens with new inclusions such as our modern Ruby Storm package, but that's not all. Our token pack covers a variety of formats from Pauper to CDH with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. For round 3, we're on the play. Let's see if we can get another victory. Alright, we have a turn 1 Gristlebrand. I think we keep that. Our opponent with a mulligan. We'll play Badlands and Cabal Therapy on ourselves. It resolves, we'll name Gristlebrand, Lotus Petal, and Reanimate on Gristlebrand. Main deck Surgical Extraction. No! Why? Why are you like this? Ah. What is happening? Okay, you got me. I need to see what they're playing now. Wait, main deck Surgical and is it Quarry Steel Cutter? No way. Okay, we'll play the Verdant Catacombs pass. They have 4 cards in their hand. They now ponder. I can't believe that main deck Surgical Extraction. Misty Rainforest, they have 4 cards in their hand. They swing. Now they're fetching. For a Thundering Falls. They kept the card on top. End step, we will Entomb. We'll grab Archon of Cruelty. And now we'll fetch. Grab a Raucous Theater, and we're looking for a mana here to beat Daze. Entomb doesn't do it, we'll get rid of that. They have 4 cards in hand. Am I supposed to wait? Or do I just jam? They could find a Wasteland. I think I'm supposed to just go. We'll play the Shallowgrave. I know it's going to look bad when I get dazed, but, like, I could lose to a Wasteland next turn. They kept a card on top. Okay. They play Volcanic Island. Or a Steel Cutter. Maybe I'll get lucky and we'll just spike another one. They have 3 cards in hand. Archon of Cruelty does not help. They Lightning Bolt me, I'll go to 10. They Surveil away Force of Will. They play a land, 2 cards in their hand here. Another Lightning Bolt, that puts me to 7. And this is 5 damage coming in. So I'll go to 2. Animate Dead is our best draw. What about another Unmask? Unfortunate. We'll just unmask to see what their hand was. Okay. So if I was a little more patient, we probably would have won that. I don't know. They did Surveil away a Wasteland. So maybe if I had paused, that wouldn't have been the case. I don't know. We'll bring in Show and Tells. I think we want Thoughtseize. Brought out 2 Faithless Looting, and the Dark Rituals, and 1 Lotus Petal. Okay, let's try it again. On the play. This seems fine, we'll keep. Let's play turn 1 Unmask. We'll exile the Animate Dead. They Force Will exiling Murktide Regent. I'm going to play the Faithless Looting. Badlands, Looting, discard Faithless Looting and Gristlebrand. Pass the turn. They have Wasteland, Grafdigger's Cage. Okay. We'll pass. Thundering Falls. Gets rid of a Brazen Borrower. They destroy my Badlands. Let's unmask. See if we can slow them down a little. Wow. I guess we take the Surgical so that way we can potentially Show and Tell in a Gristlebrand later. Or you take the Channeler. I guess we'll take the Channeler. Hope that they don't draw another land. They drew a Mishra's Bauble. Another Unmask. Let's play it, I guess. We'll take the Surgical Extraction, pass the turn. Okay. They drew the land. So now they can play the Quarry Steelcutter. Verdant Catacombs. So now we're a land, a show and tell, and a monster away. Only 3 draws, no big deal. They have land number 3. I mean, if we're going to win this, I think we're going to need to surveil, so I'm going to do that now. Alright, well that's land 3. We'll play the Bloodstained Mire, pass the turn. So now I need large creature and show and tell. They drew a wasteland. Destroys the sewers. We drew Underground Sea. Am I supposed to play that or hold it? I think I'm supposed to hold it to avoid another wasteland. They Lightning Bolt, I go to 15. And another Lightning Bolt. Okay. So I'm now at 12 and they can attack for 2. They have 1 card in their hand. Show and tell. Okay, we've done the difficult part. This game is still winnable. I just now have to draw into a large creature, and our opponent needs to not have interaction. They ponder. They did not shuffle. Another ponder. They did not shuffle. They fetch with Polluted Delta. A third ponder. Storm count is high. That's 7 damage. They did not shuffle on that ponder. Scary. Okay, so I go to 3. The Bloodstained Mire will put me to 2. And we have to draw exactly a large creature here. We'll grab the Raucous Theater. We have 7 large creatures. That's not one of them. Womp womp. Okay. We got stomped. The deck with main deck Surgical Extraction beats Reanimator. More news at 11. Okay, we're now 1-2 with 2 matches left to go. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Round number 4, we're on the play. Let's see if we can not get hit by main deck Surgical Extraction in this round. I did look at Izzet lists after that match because I was curious if it was just like a one-of thing or if it's fairly common. It turns out it's a little bit of both. A lot of people right now are playing one main deck Surgical Extraction in those Izzet Quarry Steel decks. I had not realized that. I do study deck lists fairly often, but it's a recent development. So my bad for not knowing that, but we still got blown out by a one-of, which kind of hurts my feelings. Alright, so on the play here, and our hand doesn't do it, so we're going to send it back. Surveil land. But I think you keep this. Get rid of Archon of Cruelty, and we'll pass. Well, not pass. We'll play our turn, I guess. We'll play the Raucous Theater. Keep that on top. No, because if they discard me, they're probably getting rid of the Entomb. So we've told them what we're playing. Shallow Grave to the graveyard. Wasteland. That was a fear. Alright, let's draw a land or a Lotus Petal. Nope. Send it back. Secluded Courtyard. Is this Eldrazi? It is Eldrazi. Okay. They play Lotus Petal. We lose this game to a Chalice of the Void. But they didn't have one. Okay. We will pass. We're just in a waiting room to draw a land. I have Ugin. They play Thought-Knot Seer. So my hand is actually sort of Thought-Knot Seer proof here. There's no one card you can take to wreck my day. If they take the Entomb, I can just Cabal Therapy myself for a Gristlebrand, which is just fine. We just need a land. Or a Lotus Petal. That does it. So hopefully our opponent isn't playing main deck Surgical Extraction. Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual. Cabal Therapy on myself. We'll name Gristlebrand. And then we will Shallow Grave. If they had open mana, I'd reanimate first because it would beat something like a Kozilek's Command, but that is not the case here. We will unmask, exile, and entomb. Take the Reality Smasher. Let's draw 7 more. I go down to 6. We did not draw another Shallow Grave. We'll play Dark Ritual. Maybe I shouldn't have played the Dark Ritual. That's probably dumb. Because I'm at 6, I can't actually reanimate anything else. So let's Cabal Therapy the Eldrazi Linebreaker. Okay, and then we'll take the Grim Monolith. I could reanimate the Reality Smasher or the Eldrazi Linebreaker here. That's kind of funny. What do I want to do? I think I'm going to just looting now. Because it actually does impact how I want to play this. We did not hit. We'll get rid of 2 lands. And I think I'm going to reanimate the Reality Smasher. So I'll go to 1. And now we'll go to combat. We'll swing. They'll take 12 and we'll gain 7. So I'll go up to 8. And now we have to pass the turn. They play Secluded Courtyard. We knew about that one. So they have Ancient Tomb and one Unknown, which was a glaring Flash Raker. So good draw for them. And now they can attack. And I have to play defense now. I'm at 4 life. We drew another Gristlebrand. Let's play Faithless Looting. I would need like an Animate Dead or a Shallow Grave. We did not draw one. Discard the Gristlebrand and Unmask. We'll play the Bloodstained Mire and pass the turn. We might lose this one because I couldn't find another way to reanimate. They played the Ancient Tomb. Ah, we're dead. They had back-to-back draws that killed us. Okay. Even with being able to do the thing, we came up just short. Unfortunate. Okay, so we probably want Meltdown for Chalice. And then we'll bring in Show and Tells. I think you're supposed to just take out Dark Rituals a lot, just because like the games are going to slow down, like Leyline of the Void and stuff like that. And then like maybe 2 Animate Dead. We'll try this. On the play for game 2. This is a weird one. Think we keep it? I'm not actually sure. They kept 7. We'll play the Bloodstained Mire. We'll fetch. Grab Badlands. And Faithless Looting. Here we go. We did not draw the land. I'll get rid of Shallow Grave and Animate Dead. Pass the turn. Ancient Tomb. Unlicensed Hearse. We drew the Underground Sea. That's great. Let's try to find a creature. Faithless Looting. There we go. And the land. Okay, so we'll get rid of Shallow Grave Meltdown. And I think now we just Cabal Therapy on Thought-Knot Seer. Alright, naming Thought-Knot Seer. They did not have one. Okay. Pass the turn. They play Cavern of Souls. That's fine with me. And they're going to leave open Kozilek's Command. We'll play the Swamp. Show and Tell. Archon of Cruelty. And now you sacrifice a creature and I'll draw. We drew another land though. Not great. Our opponent, I just realized, did not use the Unlicensed Hearse last turn. They should exile my 2 Faithless Looting. And now they do it. So they remembered. They played the Eye of Ugin. They ripped a Wastegate Battle Mage. You gotta be kidding me. We're just getting, you know, drawn out, it seems like, this league. Devastating. We'll pass the turn. We have to find another Show and Tell now. The Unlicensed Hearse exiles Show and Tell and a Cabal Therapy. Wearing Flesh Raker. And the Eldrazi Linebreaker. Okay. And now a Kozilek's Command for 2. And Thought-Knot Seer. Okay, I've seen enough. We can concede this one. We're getting rolled. I think that's the only way you can say this. Yeah, so we're now 1-3, and it just seems like people are prepared to beat graveyards. We'll see if we can win match number 5, but right now I'm not feeling too optimistic. I'll see you there. The Gold Sabertooth times the Epic Storm collection has arrived with 3 full-size tokens showcasing the beloved Dark Ritual, CDH Rogsai, and Legacy of the Epic Storm for just $5. On the backs of these tokens, there's a place for my signature or a custom message. In addition to these sweet tokens, a friendly reminder that all orders that ship from theepicstorm.com also come with a signed Storm token from yours truly. The 5th and final round, we've opened up a weird but good hand. Let's see if we can manage to get a win. So the idea here is that you have Dark Ritual Entomb. If they Force of Will it, you have another Entomb into Reanimate. Most people try to counterspell the Entombs and not the Reanimate effect. So this should work, but I don't even know what our opponent's playing. They play a Yevamaya Cradle of Growth, Mox Diamond. Okay. So likely lands. Yep, Life from the Loam. Okay. Shallow Grave was a good one. Dark Ritual. Entomb. We'll go grab Gristlebrand. Shallow Grave. Alright, draw 7. Draw 7 more. This puts us down to 6. Do we hit a Lotus Petal? We did not. Also, I don't think we hit an Unmask. That's a little unlucky. We'll go to combat. Swing. We'll draw 7 again. Back down to 6. We did hit an Unmask Lotus Petal. No Lotus Petals. 1 Unmask. Not the best. Exile and Entomb. Take the crop rotation, leaving them with land Lava Spur Boots. And now we go to clean up. A lot of cards going to the graveyard here. So I think you're supposed to leave some creatures in your hand in case they draw a way to clear your graveyard. Get rid of the Cabal Therapy. We don't need Reanimate, I don't think. We'll keep one Archon, I think. I do want the Badlands. Maybe get rid of Bloodstained Mire. I guess we have two Bloodstained Mires. Those can go. Probably don't need the Entomb if I'm keeping Faithless Looting. Alright, this seems like a reasonable hand. Casual 20 cards in my graveyard at the end of my first turn. No big deal. And the land's opponent concedes. Okay. So I think we want Thoughtseize for like Crop Rotation, Bazooka Bog, and Endurance. And then maybe Meltdown. I don't think we need Show and Tell in this matchup. Guessing the right card with Cabal Therapy is going to be difficult, but maybe you're supposed to leave it in. I do like the Dark Rituals in this matchup. Enemy dead gets destroyed by Force of Vigor, so maybe you can board down 2 of those. I'll shave a couple copies of Cabal Therapy. I just don't trust myself with that card in this matchup. And now we need one more cut. Am I crazy enough to board out a land versus the Wasteland strategy? I think I'll board out the Underground Sea. We'll try this. I value the Undercity Sewer's ability to surveil a little bit higher, so that's why I'm going to board out the Underground Sea instead. Okay, so I think this is reasonable. You have Unmask plus Faithless Looting. I'm down to try this. They take a mulligan. We'll keep Mox Diamond. Gets rid of Sajiri Step. You have a Maya Cradle of Growth, and they pass. We draw another Faithless Looting. We'll unmask, exile the Archon of Cruelty. Double Crop Rotation. Okay, that's a little annoying. We'll play the Badlands. Let's Faithless Looting. And I think we'll get rid of double looting here. Pass the turn. They play Once Upon a Time. They find a Fairy Macabre. So now they have Fairy Macabre and Crop Rotation for Bazooka Bog. Bristlebrand was the draw. I think we're about to be locked out of this game because the Saga is going to go grab... Yeah, okay, we lost. We can go to the next one. The Saga was about to go grab a Grafdigger's Cage, so they just opened up on a very strong hand. Maybe I should be on the Show and Tells. Okay. Board out the Meltdowns. I'm going to just board out the Cabal Therapies. I don't believe they're good enough here. Bring back in the extra land. Shave one Faithless Looting. We'll do this. Okay, here we go. We lose to Endurance or Fairy Macabre, but the hand does everything else. So we're going to keep it. I mean, it's going to feel bad if we get blown out, but this is a turn 1 creature. They kept 7. That's scary. Alright, here goes nothing. Grab the Underground Sea, Dark Ritual, Entomb. We'll grab Gristlebrand, reanimate the Gristlebrand. You have it? The pause here tells me that they do. Debating on what green card to exile to Endurance, because I feel like Fairy Macabre would have happened already. Oh, I guess I'm wrong. Okay, so Fairy Macabre, unfortunate. They play Yavimaya Cradle of Growth. So how we win this game now is I draw 2 more mana, or 1 more mana, and then a large creature. They play Exploration into Urza's Saga, and a Grafdigger's Cage. So they had it all. Okay. Shallow Grave is not going to help me here. We'll Surveil. We do not need an Unmask. Pass the turn. Urza's Saga goes to the 2nd chapter. They have 4 cards now. They just pass. Dark Ritual, so that's the mana I needed. Now we need a large creature. Faithless Looting. We did not draw it. So I'll get rid of the Dark Ritual and the Shallow Grave. Play a Marsh Flats. Pass the turn. Urza's Saga goes to the 3rd chapter. With the ability on the stack, they sacrifice the Urza's Saga to Crop Rotation. They grab a Thespian Stage and an Expedition map. So they can use the map to go grab Dark Depths. They Light from the Loam back the Saga. Okay. They now play the Urza's Saga, and it looks like they're going to pass the turn. On the end step, we'll fetch for the Undercity Sewers, and we have to really, really pray here to find the creature, because next turn they'll be representing lethal. Alright, Undercity Sewers and the Surveil trigger. Our opponent's very slow. Like, honestly, I'm not trying to rag on them here, but, like, there's been a couple points where I've just, like, forgot what I'm doing because they've taken so long to respond to each trigger. I don't know if it's bad internet connection or if they're truly tanking on everything. We'll get rid of the Lotus Petal. And we did not find it. Okay, I believe we've lost, but I'll let them take their turn. They dredge with Light from the Loam, or Saga goes to the second chapter. They use the Expedition map. They grab a Wasteland. Okay. They get rid of the Raucous Theater. So it gives me another turn here to draw into a large creature, I suppose. Alright, so next turn they can Wasteland me, because they do have a Light from the Loam in their hand. But drawing the extra Petal gives me another opportunity to draw into that large creature. They tap the Saga for mana. They grab a Lava Spur Boots. They Light from the Loam. They play a Wasteland. Goodbye to my Underground Sea. Mox Diamond. Urza Saga. Another Exploration. 2 cards in their hand. Entomb. That's a dead draw. We'll pass. The Sage Who Endures. Maze of Ith. Thespian Stage. They Light from the Loam once again. I have no lands. They make a construct. And now they can equip it with the Lava Spur Boots. This is 5 damage coming in. Ouch. We'll play Burning Catacombs, I suppose. Pass. They found Caracas. Okay, they make another construct. I'm not going to fetch, even though they could grab a needle. It's just, if I do that, they could Wasteland me, and it doesn't make sense. They found an Otawara, though. I can't beat that card. Okay, so we lose. We went 1-4 with Adam Kulp's 9th place Eternal Weekend deck. What does that say? Online versus paper is different. The hate online might be more targeted towards graveyards, where in paper there might be slightly less, because in paper people tend to play what they like rather than what's necessarily the best. Online, things are very concentrated and heavily competitive, where paper, a little less so. So maybe there was slightly more wiggle room for Adam to navigate through the field of Eternal Weekend. I will say I did not like no main deck Thoughtseize. I thought it was a big miss. When decks like lands have Crop Rotation or Fairy Macabre, Cabal Therapy is not good. I understand there's no life loss, but I think Thoughtseize belongs in the deck. I'd probably go back to 14 lands. I'd shave 2 Cabal Therapy and I'd put 4 Thoughtseize in the main deck. If you want those extra lands for the show and tell plan, play them in the sideboard. Or, you know, there's other things you could do. But I was not a huge fan of the deck list myself. It's not something I would recommend. But hopefully you learned something or saw something you enjoyed. Maybe you like me losing to Surgical Extraction. I don't know. But thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful day. And as always, keep storm. What you should do is like, comment, and subscribe, because there's no better way to support us. And if you enjoyed this video, head over to moxfield.com and follow us there. It's truly the best deck website on the internet. We update all of our decks there regularly with the latest and greatest technology, so you're always up to date. Once again, go check out Moxfield, and thank you for watching.